If you're American, Trump didn't change a lot of your day-to-day life, unless you're a Mexican kid in a cage right now on the border. But
my son just showed me your video and I think you did a terrific job. I'm also a Bernie fan, by the way, so I appreciate that you understand the politics that Bernie espouses. And what I just wanted to share with you was the bit where you had your opinion about how people should not vote for Biden and the Harris team, because according to you, you feel they are losers and that America hasn't changed since Trump became president. And if we looked out our window, we wouldn't notice any change at all if we weren't an immigrant or a Latino person, or I guess I have to watch you again there to see what else you said.
all right, so I just wanted to record this quick to give you my thoughts on the election, because people ask about, like, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the election? What's your thoughts? Here's what I think. If you voted for Biden, you're kind of a bum. If you voted for Trump, you're also kind of a bum. If you're too invested in this election, if you're too invested into American politics at any point, you're a loser, because you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
How can you be a loser if you're too invested in the politics here? You seem to have been invested in the politics enough to go out with your video camera, and I'm sure you spent a lot of time editing and going over it all, interviewing people. But to say that we're a loser, and to say that Biden's a bum, I think that loses the perspective, and it also loses respect for those people who feel that this election change is going to make a huge difference for a lot of people. Number one, I just want to say, you need to tap in a little bit more in the politics of education, the politics of healthcare, the politics of taxes, the legislation changes and differences between Democrats and Republicans. It is so complex that to say that we should not invest our time and energy, and to say that Biden and Harris are losers, it just is so simplistic, and then you completely lose the point of how complex politics actually is. I would just want you to think about, if you are not a student of political science, and if you are not a politician yourself, maybe it would be best to refrain from saying these simplistic statements, because you have an influence of over 800,000 people, I saw. And that's influencing a lot of young minds. So be careful, be prudent with your words. You're a really smart person, but you're still young. So do your research, read, learn, have your experience. Go out and be a politician. Understand more about it, because you are absolutely wrong. Even me as a white person, a woman, having Trump in office for 4 years affected me greatly.
For the most part, Trump didn't change a lot of my daily life. And a lot of your daily, if you're American, Trump didn't change a lot of your day-to-day life, unless you're a Mexican kid in a cage right now on the border. But he was a social media president. He was divisive. He made shit look and seem crazy online. Outside of that, look around. Daily life never changes based on the president. If you're too invested in this corrupt-ass, broken system, you're a loser. I'm reading this book right now called
I want to know from you, I want you to show me in your next video why you think this is a corrupt-ass political system. Across the board, you're saying that the whole political system here in America is a corrupt system. You need to think about that. You need to look. Go to all 50 states. Check it out. Check out the amazing progress that America has made. Yes, there is corruption, but if you look back 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 25 years ago, check out and see the progress that's been made. It's worth it. I don't think you'd be saying the things you're saying if you really did your research, because there are some really hard-working Republicans and Democrats, Libertarians and Green Party. I mean, basically, don't you think that if we were a pluralistic country with many different parties, including a feminist party, a green party, business party, whatever, and each got a fair amount of time, wouldn't that make this country a lot more interesting, instead of just Democratic and Republican that end up on the ballots at the end of every 4 years? So let's be a little bit more deep in our thinking and more creative.
Right now called the 48 Laws of Power, and I'm on the chapter right now where they're describing cult leaders and how easy it is to grow power just by saying really vague.
You just read a book, and it seems to have affected you deeply. And if you agree that having a cult leader is no good for our country, you could have used the power and the privilege of your vote to remove that person from power. But you didn't.
Vague and mysterious things that correspond with greatness. And it's funny because the book was written in 2007, and I feel like Trump read it and just used that as the blueprint for his whole campaign. Make America great again? When was it great? How do we make it great? It's always unclear and mysterious. And as long as you're just enthusiastic, people attach their own meaning to what you're saying. People start attaching.
You have to define what you feel is great. This is about you and your opinions. And everybody has, of course, their own. For a religious person, great might mean for rules to be according to biblical standards. But for a scientist, that might mean something completely different. So for an environmentalist, great might mean that we really work hard on healing our planet and not having as many forest fires, floods, and extreme weather. So let's look at that word great. How do we make a country greater? Isn't it by allowing a country as wonderful as America is to have universal health care, free education? That's what a lot of world-class industrial countries have now, and we are embarrassingly not there. So there's a lot that we're lacking. To me, it would be great if we could catch up with the countries that have created a lifestyle for their citizens that includes peace of mind and a quality that is so much higher than what we have achieved here. It wouldn't be a bad idea to look at those countries, all right? Even there's a little corruption there, they're still moving ahead with their great system and policies.
Attaching things like God, freedom, people attach whatever they want to your vague idea of bigly great. I understand if you're calm, you're in a house, and you just want things to be easy and normal because you want a simple life. Then I understand that you want Biden and you're happy that Trump is gone. But my channel and a lot of you who I think relate to me.
Wanting Trump gone, I don't think that for the majority of us it's about having a calm and peaceful life. I think that it's more complex than that, and people are more intelligent than just feeling like they want to be calm and peaceful. Having Trump as a president was much more than just that. It was an anxiety over our future and what he was creating for our children and grandchildren by doing all the different kinds of things that he was doing. And that includes his foreign policy, his domestic policy, his business policies and infrastructure. Also his policies around religion and women's rights, for example. Calmness and peace, I think, comes when we will have an intelligent statesman, stateswoman who can bring this country back to a united force, to one that looks into the future and is realistic. And I think there's a lot of that in Biden.
You're always on the come up. You're always thinking about getting more money, power, respect. You want to move up in the world. And anybody who's really trying to move up is wasting their time involving themselves in politics. It's broken through and through. Fuck the Democratic Party because they screwed over Bernie Sanders and I can never support them again. I would never vote for somebody in the Democratic Party because of how corrupt they are, how phony they sound when they talk, how like uppity they feel because, oh, we're not racist. They're the racist ones. You're racist too. Just because you have gender pronouns in your bio doesn't mean you're woke. It's getting me tight that people are hyped that Kamala Harris is like the first black female vice president. Whatever, man. She locked up thousands and thousands of people for weed charges. She could suck a dick, man. Biden is 77. He voted for the Iraq war and he signed a bill that says you can't declare bankruptcy on student debt. They both suck. They both suck. You should not be happy that Biden is the president. This is not the man. That's all I gotta say.
So, Sneako, doing great work, and hey, I'll be right by your side, trying to get Bernie back into the politics, and at least somebody similar to him with those kinds of views. Maybe AOC will be our heroine. But for now, I'd say do more work, check out other countries, and even more our states, and really get to know more politicians and see upfront what kind of work they do. Okay, good luck and be optimistic. Yeah, stop pretending to be so cool. Okay, I just wanted to add that rather than spinning such a negative view on politics and making your 800,000 viewers feel so dismal about this whole political system, why not find ways to give ideas on how there is more hope and what we can do and what are the actual positive parts to this political system? What are the good sides to it? Because it can't be all that bad if we are one of the greatest countries in the world, right?